Welcome back, everyone. It's time for another gardening segment, and today we're talking about why it's important to fertilize your lawn before Labor Day. Here to help us out with that is Alan Zook, an Associate Professor of Plant Sciences at NDSU. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrea.
Yeah, okay, so how much fertilizer we apply, it's key, right?
It is key. It's essential to a healthy lawn.
Yeah.
We recommend that homeowners fertilize their turf, apply 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet 3 times a year. And if they would key off of the 3 big summer holidays, Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, they'll be in good shape. Apply, again, 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet on those holidays. Okay? Now, it's essential that they put down the right rate.
Yeah.
And here's a bag of fertilizer, a typical bag of fertilizer that you might find. You'll see these 3 numbers on the front. This is called the analysis. The first number represents nitrogen, the second phosphorus, the last potassium. And that represents percent bag weight of this particular element. This is a 15-pound bag. 30 means it's 30% nitrogen bag weight. That means this bag contains 4.5 pounds of nitrogen. Okay, and it says enough to cover 5,000 square feet. So that's about right.
Okay.
Okay. So with that information provided, it's still essential that your spreader is calibrated. That's important because without that, you don't know if you're putting down too much or too little. And a lot of times, the fertilizer producer will put this information on the back. This chart here will tell you what setting to use on your spreader. And for example here, this one gives us a lot of information for Scott spreaders. But what if you have a Toro spreader or a Cyclone spreader? Before you buy the fertilizer, look at the back label to see if that information's on there for you. If it's not, you're going to have to calibrate on your own, and that can be quite complicated. Okay,
So
it can
stick with the bag that has it on there.
Right, and if it doesn't have that information on there, you can still get by, but you'll have to calibrate on your own. And if you want that information, I would recommend that you call your county agent, okay, and they'll call up here at NDSU, and we'll get the information to them, they'll get it back to you. But it's a whole series of calculations, simple calculations, but probably 5 or 6 of them. We don't have enough time to go over those today.
Yeah.
But we'll get that information to you if you have to calibrate on your own. But let me say again that calibration is essential. You have to know that information. Otherwise, you're putting out too much or too little. Okay?
So what if we want to fertilize our turf grass, but it's late in the season?
Well,
Are there any
you
risks?
run a risk if you go a couple weeks past Labor Day. Well, actually, a couple weeks. It depends on the season.
Yeah.
But you see people fertilizing in late September, even early October, and they get by just fine. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be all right. But you do run that risk of losing your lawn that winter by fertilizing late. Okay, you send your lawn into winter in a lush growing condition. Okay, it doesn't have time to go into dormancy, harden off properly. And let's say we had not much snow that year. That blanket insulation is just not there. Your lawn could suffer desiccation. You could lose your whole lawn that winter if it's not, you know, in a dormant state. Okay, the other risk that you run by fertilizing late into the season is the potential of snow mold development. Now that's occurring underneath snow cover. It's nice and warm under there. At least it's warmer than the air temperature up above. And that's just what this fungal organism is looking for. A nice, lush, growing turf, warm conditions, moist conditions. Snow melts off in the spring, half your lawn's dead. What happened there? Well, that's more than likely it's snow mold. Now, we can spend a whole segment talking about snow mold, but again, we don't have the time today. But that's another risk that you run by fertilizing late into the season.
Okay.
Snow mold development.
All right, well, when we come back, more with Alan Zook, and we'll talk about some weed control, too,
Sure.
when we come back. Stay close.